Before we start, let me say this clearly. Have you noticed how some dating situations feel set up from the beginning, like no matter what you say or do, you end up feeling like the one in the wrong? That is exactly the kind of conversation we are about to have. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Harold, and this is The Hidden Code, a place where men talk openly about relationships, self-respect, and navigating the modern world with honesty and clarity. There are no unnecessary theories, no feel-good lies, just real psychology you can use in everyday life. What you are about to hear is rarely discussed openly. The moment it comes up, emotions flare, labels are thrown, and the truth gets buried. So we are approaching it calmly like adults. A few weeks ago, I received an email from a viewer. I won't read it word for word, but the story represents what so many men feel but rarely say. He wrote, "Harold, I tried to be the man everyone says I should be. I walked away feeling something was deeply wrong with me. I need to understand why." He was 35, had a stable career, never married, and had no children. He met a woman through mutual friends who had 2 children from previous relationships. He approached the relationship with the best intentions, telling himself to be open-minded, mature, and non-judgmental. He didn't want to be the man who complains. 4 months in, something felt off. Not dramatic, not explosive, just heavy, like he was carrying weight that wasn't his and nobody seemed to notice. Here is the part few men discuss. When men evaluate a relationship, they are not checking a moral checklist. They are not primarily asking, is she a good person? That matters, but it is not the first thing they consider. The first filter is much more primitive, quiet, and ruthless. It is an internal calculation of cost and benefit. Sometimes it happens in minutes, sometimes even before the first date ends. On one side of the equation is what the man contributes: time, energy, attention, emotional availability, money, and future planning. On the other side is what the relationship actually returns in reality. With single mothers, that equation is imbalanced from day one. This is not about judging worth or claiming single mothers are bad. Many are strong, resilient, and loving. This is about structure, dynamics, and outcomes. When a man dates a woman without children, every effort he invests goes into building a shared life. Every dinner, every trip, every long conversation adds to a future they can create together. With a single mother, a large portion of that investment immediately diverts to children who are not his, toward a life system he did not design, and toward priorities where he will never be first. The viewer wrote, "I felt like I was giving pieces of my life away instead of creating one. Plans revolved around school schedules, dates depended on babysitters, conversations were constantly interrupted." He understood it logically, but emotionally it drained him. One Friday night, he got ready for a date and she texted, "One of the kids isn't feeling well. Babysitter canceled. Rain check." He understood why. But afterward, sitting on the edge of his bed, dressed up with nowhere to go, he felt something quietly die. It wasn't anger or resentment yet, just enthusiasm slowly leaking away. This is where men get confused. Nothing may feel like an obvious deal breaker, but the pattern builds. Over time, it becomes clear this is not temporary. Another factor is the father of the children. Calls, drop-offs, texts, scheduling issues, he is always involved. The ex is never truly gone. The new man steps into a system where the main roles are already cast. Resentment grows, not because he dislikes her, but because he dislikes the version of himself he is becoming. Quiet, self-censoring, constantly accommodating, always secondary. The worst part is feeling guilty for noticing it. Wanting to matter becomes framed as selfish. This is the reality few prepare men for, giving full commitment to a situation that can never fully choose them back. Why do so many men continue anyway? Why does the tension never ease? It is not about blame. It is about understanding the mechanics before offering your life. Discomfort does not disappear. It hardens. Another man wrote, "I understood the rules. I just didn't understand the cost of following them." From day one, any man dating a single mother knows he will never be the first priority. The kids come first, always. That desire to be chosen as the main partner is natural, biological, psychological. When it is unmet, something inside breaks. Living with constant low-level tension becomes normal. Date nights feel borrowed, everything exists on contingency. Nothing is solid, nothing sacred. Planning becomes a setup for disappointment. Weekend trips require weeks of coordination and still may fall apart. Men are asked to give full commitment in a situation with partial access, limited availability, and fragmented attention. They pay a psychological cost while being told they should feel grateful. Responsibility without authority, investment without security, constantly competing against obligations. This is the reality. Biology, time, and permanent trade-offs shape the experience. Men are wired to build, invest, and leave a legacy. Ignoring this leads to regret. Dating a single mother, particularly with multiple children, is not just choosing a relationship. It is choosing a future with limits on time, energy, finances, and even the ability to have children of your own. This topic is often shamed. Men are told love should be enough, but the truth is clear. Extraordinary constraints require extraordinary value. Often, that value cannot be fully given because the system is stretched thin. The step-parent trap is real, expected to act as a parent, contribute emotionally and financially, yet have no authority, legal rights, or protection if things end. Years of investment can disappear overnight if the relationship fails or the ex asserts control. Men feel disrespected from every angle. Children remind them they are not the father, the ex doesn't take them seriously, and even the woman may unconsciously treat them as secondary. Men leave not because they are heartless, but because the numbers become undeniable. Giving 100% and receiving 30% is unsustainable. Responsibility without reciprocity is self-betrayal. Optimism begins the cycle. Men adjust, reschedule, absorb disappointment, put themselves last. Over months and years, cracks grow, resentment whispers, then becomes an unavoidable question. When will I matter? Watching friends build families from scratch, being chosen first, men start imagining a different life. Breaking points vary, another canceled date, another disruption, being outranked by her ex again. He realizes he is auditioning for a role in someone else's life instead of writing his own story. From her point of view, it may feel like betrayal, but what happens is men stop accepting situations where effort and sacrifice are not reciprocated. They choose self-respect over silent resentment. A quality man in his 30s or 40s has options. Objectively, a woman without children offers flexibility, peace, a shared starting point, and a future to create together. A single mother offers complexity, permanent obligations to another man, divided attention, financial pressure, emotional strain, and often expects gratitude for partial access. Exceptional circumstances demand exceptional compatibility and value. For generations, men were told they must accept these arrangements. Being a provider meant swallowing dissatisfaction, putting themselves last indefinitely. Many paid the cost with decades of quiet regret. Awareness has changed this. Men now ask the same questions women have always asked. Can I do better holistically, emotionally, strategically, long-term? When dating single mothers, the honest answer for many men is yes. Not because single mothers are bad, but because the structure requires permanent second place, investment in children who are not theirs, navigating exes, delaying or abandoning personal goals, and risking everything without protection. That is not a partnership. It is a liability. Most men opt out, choosing to wait, build mutual futures, or preserve self-respect. For men who have lived through marriage, divorce, blended families, or being a stepfather or provider, experience is not wasted. It becomes valuable when shared. Younger men listening need truth, not theory or motivational slogans. One honest lesson can alter another man's path. This is about responsibility, ensuring the cost you paid does not have to be repeated. Conversations like this matter. Join a community of men who value self-respect, clarity, and long-term thinking. This is not a place for outrage, but for men done lying to themselves. Contribute by sharing one clear lesson, what you learned.